Alright guys, it's official. Joe Biden said that it is Trump's fault for climate change, wildfires, all of that. So, I mean, look at it this way, guys. If Joe Biden says it, it's gotta be true, right? The man's never lied. The man's always been top-notch honest, and he knows what he's talking about, right? He's got degrees, he's got fucking smarts, and almost 50 years in politics. He's accomplished wonders. No, that's all wrong. Let me get my head out of my ass real quick. Just fucking acting like a liberal. I would say that to Mr. Gavin Newsom and to Mr. Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, AOC, all these idiots on the left that happen to think they're scientists, climatologists, whatever you want to call them. When your Forest Service is almost non-existent and your main method, your main mode, your main vehicles for fighting and combating forest fires, like, I don't know, helicopters, are in Afghanistan currently, and instead of making a break in the forest to where only a section can burn down and then it puts itself out, let's say fuck that and let's do everything wrong and let's make it to where, it's a never-ending amount of kindling for this wildfire. And then on top of that, let's have these Antifa pieces of shit who have been caught on video, arrested, and charges pending for starting some of these fires. It's unbelievable. And if you or anybody you know is one of the people that believes that Donald Trump is at fault for these wildfires, you or said person is a complete and total idiot. Simple as that. Let's get something straight. Science is generally correct. For the most part, if enough research and enough testing and enough processes have been done to understand the findings, it's pretty reliable. Now, you got things like the KT boundary, that's where Chicxulub impact for the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, meteor, whatever. If you think about this, there's been studies done on soil samples that shows temperature, oxygen levels, you know what I mean? What the weather, what the climate was like at that point in time. And if you go back from the beginning of time, we're talking since Earth was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, you will find that at certain periods in time, in intervals, there's catastrophic climate changes. There's also, in more normalized cycles, dips. It's like a wave. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And these are cycles to where the Earth experiences changes, just like the magnetic pole shift, Every so many thousands of years, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions, all the way up to every so often a couple billion years, something will change. Everything's on a different cycle. This is not so much 100% man-made. Yes, CO2 levels have risen at a unusually high rate since humans have started, colonizing, cultivating, and doing certain things, burning fossil fuels. But in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. There's been times in our planet's history to where oxygen levels were 20%, You've got times in the planet's history to where there was nothing but fire and molten fucking magma everywhere, Just lava as far as the eye can see. Climate changes. It's never the same. And if you look at the small, insignificant amount of time that we as humans have been on this planet, it's nothing. It's a blink of the eye. Legitimately, a blink of the eye. You know? If you take a couple million years versus 4.5 billion years, we've experienced nothing compared to what has been happening on this planet since its conception. You know? There's been asteroid strikes that have decimated this planet. There's been super volcano eruptions that have decimated it. You know, you're looking at sometimes throughout, you know, pre-recorded history, 90% of all life was eliminated. You know? They always called it the bottleneck. That's what I had always learned of it. Because everything dying, you know, you've got this much life and then it trickles down to this much that's left. It's a bottleneck. These are normal things. This is, if you went throughout the universe and you found any planet that had life on it, chances are you could bet your dick that the same thing would be happening. There would be changes throughout history, you know? You've got massive earthquakes. You've got massive tornadoes every once in a while. You got massive hurricanes. Look at Katrina. Not every hurricane is as big as Katrina, but every so often, man, you'll have a massive one. Look at El Reno tornado. Dude, that thing was 2.6 miles wide. It's the largest recorded tornado to ever happen. Ever. Now, I'm sure before, you know, we were around, or before recorded history was being written down and recorded, there was probably tornadoes that were bigger than it. It just, there's always, just like people, you have abnormally large people, you have abnormally small people. There's always a diverse range with all of these things, you know, weather included. It's not all of a sudden Donald Trump got in and boom, the world went to hell. Donald Trump's such an evil fucking man that the planet Earth itself is revolting, you know? That's what these liberals sound like. Then you got AOC talking, we've got 12 years before the world ends, you know? You're talking about utter mental just stupidity. You know, mental retardation. That's what she suffers from. And that's not to make fun of or anything like that, but there's got to be something wrong with you mentally to think that you know that the world is going to end in 12 years. She went from working at a bar, being a waitress, to trying to tell us that the world's going to end in 12 years and completely and totally overhaul our whole entire system. You know? Redo every building to meet a certain level of environmental friendliness. You're talking absolute, all fossil fuels no longer being used. Meanwhile, you've got places like China, India, Russia, all these other places, especially China though. China's the biggest offender when it comes to that shit. If you live in a house with somebody, and it's equivalent to living in a house with a pig person that just is fucking disgusting. Shits, smokes, and pisses all over the place, smoking 6 packs of cigarettes a day, and you're in the next room over and you're spraying air freshener. It's about the equivalent. You're not doing a fucking thing. It's still gonna stink, and it's still gonna be disgusting no matter what. You know? You can't have multiple countries all over the world just pumping out fucking CO2, burning coal, all this other shit, and then expect to drop $100 trillion on the Green New Deal and be like, oh yeah, we got this, we'll fix it. No. AOC is an idiot. Okay, she knows nothing. She is not a scientist. She's not a climatologist. She doesn't have any fucking degrees like that to where it would actually give her an authority to speak on that matter. She doesn't. Neither does Joe Biden. You know, you got all these governors, these Democratic governors running out talking this shit. It's absurd. Completely and utterly absurd. And they're accounting that there's people out there that are so stupid. People that get their news from CNN believe it. MSNBC and believe it. People like that they will believe them. They are trying to gain control and power through fear. That's all it is. These people do not care. If they were so concerned about climate change, I don't think Obama would have bought a $12 million fucking mansion right on a lakefront property. You know? I don't think Nancy Pelosi would buy, 2 deep freezers that cost the equivalent of a small house. For the cost of the 2 freezers that she has, you could buy a small house. I've seen houses that go for that amount of price, and it's a pretty decent fucking house. You could buy a brand new car for the cost of her 2 deep freezers. These politicians fly around on private jets, roll around with convoys, and are pumping more CO2 and more carbon emissions than any one of us regular people could ever fucking hope to. If you were a person that your sole goal in life was to destroy the climate and just fucking annihilate everything and put as much CO2 and as much carbon emissions as possible out there, you would still fall short on what these politicians do. Just like the guy in LA saying, oh, it's after this time, and this is during a heat wave, mind you. It's time to turn off and unplug all non-essential things and turn off your AC. Like, dude, you're going through a heat wave. People will literally fucking die sitting inside of a house with no air conditioning, with the heat just fucking cranking outside. But I bet that cocksucker, he ain't going without AC. He's probably got that thing cranked up so fucking cold that he's probably got a jacket on. You know what I mean? He's probably got goosebumps and eating fucking ice cream in a snowsuit. That's how cold he's got it in his office. These people are hypocrites. That's where the old expression, rules for thee and not for me. These people put out things that they expect us to listen to and do, and then do the complete opposite, like the shit don't apply to them. If you tell somebody to do something or that this is beneficial, but you're not doing it, who the fuck are you to tell people what to do then? You're a hypocrite. Straight up. The worst kind, too. You're telling millions and millions of people that they're bad. They're bad people if they do these things, and they themselves are doing it. Like Nancy Pelosi talking about, if you don't wear a mask, you're killing people and all this other shit, and there's no circumstance to where you shouldn't wear a mask and all this other stuff. This bitch went to the salon, got her hair blown out, no mask. But she expects these salons to, stay closed. Just like, people saying, oh, there's shit everywhere and needles all over San Francisco. She don't care. She's not dealing with it, dude. Let us lowly fucks, or us unimportant people, deal with human feces and needles when we're supposed to be raising our children at, and it's okay, because she's not dealing with it. The minute somebody shits in her driveway, which, you know what? Fucking kudos to that, dude. I salute you. But regardless, then she wants to get this person arrested. Then there's a problem because it's on her property. She has to deal with it instead of everybody else. These people act like they're royalty, but they're not. They need voted out with the quickness. These people have no business being in a position of power. They don't. No business whatsoever. Then you got Lori Lightfoot. There's another prime example. This chick talking about these rioters are innocent and they're just expressing their emotions and they should be allowed to do it, and the injustice and oppression that these people face, it's natural for this. Oh, it's okay while everybody else is out there getting their shit burnt to the ground and killed and fucking lives destroyed. All of that's fine. But as soon as protesters come to her street, man, no, fuck that. It's lockdown. You're gonna sit there and talk about fuck the police and defunding them and police violence, but you're gonna make these cops. There was 8 cop cars parked on this bitch's street talking about, I've got threats and, I have the right to defend my family and my house. What about everybody else that you just basically called racist and bad people and pieces of shit because they're trying to do the same fucking thing? Protect their family, protect their house and stuff, These people are hypocrites, man. They don't care about you. They don't care about any of us. They care about power and that's it. That's all they want is power and control. If you look at any Democratic politician, any governor, any of that, they all want emergency powers. They go through, they pass these fucking meaningless laws that make people's lives harder and more difficult and just more unhappy in general. They destroy their state, their city, any of that. They destroy it. They're fucking broke because they spend money on illegal immigrants and they say fuck their own people and they let homeless people go around. They destroy their economy. Then, people fucking move out. Businesses, anybody with any amount of actual wealth leaves, like flees. It's a fucking exodus. And then they expect the federal government and everybody else to pay for it because, why should they? They destroy where they live through their liberal policies. They destroy life for tax-paying people with jobs, not fucking worthless people, and then they expect everybody else to pay for it. No. Trump's right in not giving certain people federal aid. If you allow these rioters to continue destroying your community and then, let them just get bailed out right away, no bail. I'm sorry, I was wrong. No bail. They just fucking release them, And you have mass exodus of wealthy rich people and they leave and they don't want to be there. That's on you. That's your fucking fault. And your citizens shouldn't have to pay for your stupidity. It's simple as that. These people are unbelievable, man. Anyway, I just got home after work, picked up my little dude. So, let me know what you think, man. Leave a comment. I'd appreciate anybody that subscribes, likes, any of that stuff. Y'all have a good one, man. Later.